Hey everyone, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a big one because we are moving into a brand new notebook. Woo! A lot of you guys have been asking me when I'm switching to a new notebook for my bullet journal because you've noticed that I've been getting to the final few pages, but this is the time. I actually lasted one more month than I normally would. Usually I last around June, so it's like 6 months and 6 months, but I think because this year I had a couple like half single page weekly spreads and I ended up saving pages, I guess, along the way. So we lasted till July, the end of July, which is pretty cool. But now, of course, it's time for a fresh start, which feels right. I feel like I'm in the need of a fresh start. And guys, look, I dyed my hair back to black, so new hair, new me, new bullet journal, fresh start. Let me know, by the way, if you're switching into a new notebook anytime soon or if you have already. I know some people switch at different times. Grab a snack and a cup of tea and let's get started. A lot of people have been asking me what notebook I'm gonna be using this time around, so here it is. I'm so excited. As you can see, they come in all of the colors similar to the doodle planner, but obviously it's just dotted pages on the inside. I'm gonna be using the teal one to keep within the blue theme that both of my notebooks had for 2020. But guys, I'm so excited that these are finally going to be coming out. They are gonna be launching at the end of August, but make sure you keep updated on social media and the shop social media account to know the exact details. I think the cover is super cute, but the paper on the inside is 160 GSM, so it's super thick and the pages are also numbered. We had actually meant to launch these way earlier in the year, but of course because of the virus everything got delayed, so I'm just really excited that these are finally going to be coming out. And don't worry guys, if you aren't in need of a new notebook right now or if you've already switched, these aren't limited edition or anything. We're gonna keep restocking them, so at any point you should be able to get your hands on them. But yeah, that's my mini announcement. I'm so excited. Back to the video though, I went through the beginning pages of my old bullet journal and kind of put sticky notes on the pages that I wanted to move over. Of course, because of the virus, bullet journaling and everything was kind of strange, so a lot of the pages were like interesting and I definitely don't need them anymore, like the travel list. I don't know if anyone's going to be traveling anytime soon. In the past, I would make a whole list of the spreads that I wanted to change and move over, but the sticky notes kind of do the same job for me, and also they're puppy sticky notes, so gives me an excuse to use those. Anyway, let's be honest here, the best part about starting a brand new, but the first spread that I'm going to be moving over is of course my handy dandy dot spacing guide, grid spacing guide, sorry. A lot of people have been asking me about how to use this, and I know I had meant to make a whole video on this. I still can definitely make a whole separate video on this if you guys want, but I'll kind of explain as we're making it right now. So basically I number out all of the grid spaces on the page so I can kind of see how tall and how wide it is. And then I'm splitting up the divisions of the dot grid spaces into various amounts that I will need in future spreads. So I've split things up into quarters, thirds, quarters with spaces in between, and I've done that both vertically and horizontally. And basically when I'm referring to this page, let's say I want to split a page up into quarters, I can just look for the colored lines that have split into quarters and see how many high or how many dot grid spaces wide that is. I hope that helps a little bit. It's kind of hard to explain, but it just helps me when I'm making spreads. To the style of my 2020 bullet journal from the beginning of the year, but I did kind of change things up and I wanted to use craft paper, which is something that I have been really loving using in 2020, so I wanted to reflect that in this second notebook. I did a cute little quote page next to the grid spacing guide that says a little progress every day adds up. I wanted to kind of do a quote that's like one step at a time kind of mindset. Also, just to keep in mind, I kept the grid spacing guide on the left side of the spread so that I can easily flip to it whenever I'm referring to it, which is why the quote is on the right side. I finished off by adding a couple little doodles with a gray marker, nothing too complicated, just random lines and stars, similar to the style from my first bullet journal from 2020. And of course added some washi tape, but overall I wanted to keep things pretty simple with still keeping consistent. So since we are over halfway through the year, I actually only had 5 months to transfer from my future log for this notebook. So I went for a horizontal split I don't know how to describe this, horizontal kind of future log layout. I've done something similar to this before, but speaking of the grid spacing guide, this is kind of the perfect example of how I used the guide. So since I know I'm splitting the page into thirds, I count when I'm making marks for this spread. I hope that makes sense. It's really hard to explain. But anyways, as you can see, I'm writing out the titles of the month on top of the craft paper, and I'm kind of doing this typewriter-esque font. It's kind of by hand, but I do like that hand-drawn vibe. And then below it, I'm writing out the mini month calendars, making sure that I don't mess up this time, because the 20, like 5 of the months or something at the end, and paste it over because the numbers all happen this time around. Anyway, that's just my future log. As you can see, it's nothing too complex. I didn't go crazy with drawings or brush lettering or anything. Mostly just the craft paper jazzes things up a little, but that's kind of what I was going for. I wanted simple, easy to look at, so I could have mental clarity when I'm planning, and I really liked the way that it turned out. The next spread I knew I wanted to make was a mid-year review / reflection page. I titled it Reflect and Refresh. Ooh, it sounds so fancy. But when I put a sticky note on my 2020 goals and reflection pages from the previous bullet journal, this is what I meant by moving it over, because I think it's nice to, in the middle of the year, look back on what you were thinking about at the beginning of the year, what goals you made at the beginning of the year, and kind of see how far you've come, what's changed, what's different, and set up new goals for the second half of the year, kind of like setting yourself up for that back half of the marathon. So I did give myself some prompts. I can list the exact prompts that I used in the description box below, or you can obviously pause and screenshot them if you want to use the same ones as me, but the top questions were more so reflection questions, so like, what am I grateful for so far, what have I achieved, and the bottom half questions were looking forward sort of stuff. I only did a half-page spread for the mid-year reflection page, but if you are the type of person who likes to write a lot, you can definitely do a full 2-page spread for this. But on the other half of the spread, I just moved my YouTube brainstorm, keeping within the same theme, the simple lines. I've been doing this weird thing with like the dots at the end of the lines. I feel like it looks so classy, but I split up my YouTube brainstorm into different categories. And yeah, if you guys have any video ideas of what you want to see from me, let me know so I can fill up this spread. The next spread that I'm transferring over is my things to check out spread, where I keep track of any TV shows, books, movies that I want to check out, as the name suggests. I just changed the layout of the spread. In the previous bullet journal, I did it only on one side and kind of did vertical columns. But this time I did it over 2 pages. At the top I have my things to check out, and at the bottom I have songs to learn, and within those 2 halves I split it up further into categories. The function of these spreads are the same as the previous ones from the first bullet journal, but just kind of in a different layout. My purpose whenever I switch bullet journals mid-year is never to create brand new spreads and change things up drastically. It's just kind of to give myself a mental refresh, more blank space to fill it out and add new ones, because obviously crossed off as I watch stuff, but now you can add new things to the list. But that is it for this one. Finally, we are on to the Polaroid Memories in this new bullet journal. I really didn't use it that much in my last page. I didn't stick that many photos in, mostly because the beginning months of 2020 were me in my pajamas in quarantine at home. So my mindset was like, do I really want to print these out and remember this? But something that I've been trying to teach myself to do more often is to appreciate those smaller everyday moments of happiness. So I want to challenge myself to include those types of memories on this spread. For example, I include on this spread, and it doesn't need to be this wall of Instagrammable, 2020 might not have been the best year for all of us. Anyway, here is the final flip through of my second half of 2020 bullet journal. Overall, I really like the way this setup turned out. I love the style of it. I think it still keeps consistent with the 2020 bullet journal from the beginning of the year, but it's still something different and new, so I can feel refreshed going into that second half of the year. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my new mid-year bullet journal setup and how I switched into a new notebook. And now you guys know the little secret that I've been working on and why I've been so excited to, as I am. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting out of breath because I'm so excited. If you guys do want to see more bullet journal stuff from me, you can follow me on Instagram. And I also do live streams of every single weekly spread that I do over on Twitch. It's a fun time. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap up for now. I hope you have an awesome day. Keep doodling, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye everyone.